And a good midday to you, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Big broader picture here. We're looking at a little bit of leftover snow, and that's now worked out of the region, so there's no real issues there. This is our next incoming area of rain. We got thunderstorms on the front end associated with a warm frontal system. And then we'll see a little bit of a lull during the afternoon, midday tomorrow. And then a cold front will sweep on through, and that's going to include some showers and thunderstorms to work on through. Some of these thunderstorms have the potential to become strong and locally gusty winds, perhaps as high as 40 to 50 miles per hour. We'll also have gradient winds that will be developing as a cold frontal passage takes place. So with the front itself, we have winds there, associated thunderstorms along that frontal system with temperatures in the 60s, dew points basically in the 50s, suggest that we could see some upper level dynamics interact with the thunderstorm activity, bring some of that down to surface. So that's in play as well. Most likely these would be either widely scattered or even isolated. If they even do happen, it's a little bit more of an uncertainty at this point, but there will be some thunder and lightning. It looks like fairly isolated strikes at this point in time. So what's going to be moving in on Friday afternoon eventually sets up with some colder weather working on in during the overnight period, but some strong gusty gradient winds, and they'll affect basically the southern and central Green Mountain summits especially, and some of that may carry down the slopes a little bit, where gusts maybe are in that 35 to 45 mile an hour range. So a quick look at the European model here. We'll see the precipitation exit out of the region, just a couple sprinkles perhaps in the southern eastern parts of Vermont, but nothing to worry about there. And then we have a little period of drying out this evening, and then for the most part we have rain moving in. This is going to be developing after midnight, overspreading the region fairly rapidly from southwest to northeast. And you can see the rainfall is actually going to be indicated maybe even moderate at times as some of this precipitation works on through, associated with a warm front. There could even be a little bit of freezing rain suggested right near the Connecticut River Valley, border New Hampshire, Vermont, Northeast Kingdom. Now we get a lull, basically. This is valid through 1 o'clock in the afternoon between 15Z and 18Z. That's basically 11 o'clock and, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Daylight Time now. And then we have this heavier precipitation. It does look like the worst of it is going to be to the north and west of us, crossing through parts of really central and eastern New York, and then up into the St. Lawrence River Valley, areas around Montreal. And it looks like the most areas under the gun is going to be northern Vermont rather than southern Vermont. And we'll see some of these stringers. You can see this is probably a convective cluster carrying across the region during the late afternoon. Tomorrow you can see most of the heavy action with the heavier rainfalls occurring is south and east of the St. Lawrence River Valley to the Vermont border. And then that eventually pushes on out. This is valid still about 11 o'clock at night tomorrow evening. And so in that time frame, things are winding down at this point. We're starting to get into colder air, and we do have gusty gradient winds. The gradient winds most affecting the eastern slopes of the Green Mountains, the usual case here, and generally 35 to 45 miles per hour, maybe an isolated gust of 50. It doesn't look as strong. It looks like the modeling has been kind of backing off just a little bit on that. And then we're into better weather as high pressure builds in for Saturday. This is lightning flash density from the European model, and you can see these signify thunderstorms with lightning in progress, and you can see the stronger thunderstorm activity right up and down the St. Lawrence River Valley. This is valid about 18Z, that's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it gets into Vermont. We're seeing a little bit of popcorn stuff out ahead of it, but the main effects will be these cells here, and one coming off the Adirondack Mountains, for example. And you'll notice this is valid at 20Z. That would be 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock actually, and then 5 o'clock we'll see this. 6, it's pretty much finishing up, and pretty much long out of here. So roughly, I'm going to say between 2 o'clock and about 6 o'clock, about a 4-hour period of showers and thunderstorms with gusty winds associated with some of those thunderstorms. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights, thanks for watching.